that's already a sick fight card. Obviously, with Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane, Jailton Almeida and Volkov being the co-main event, if they are, just being on the fight card, they're going to be a backup fighter if anything happens to the main event. What's your thoughts on Volkov versus Gane? Sorry, Aspinall versus Gane.
I mean, I think it's the next best thing that we could get right now with Jon Jones not being able to do it and stepping away. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what Tom's plan is going to be, because I think on the feet, they're pretty evenly matched. I think it could be fun on the feet.
Did you see the Derek Lewis-Ciryl Gane fight? Ciryl Gane beat the shit out of him. Ciryl Gane, who's 6'5", 247 pounds, moves like a 170-pounder. He's bouncing like Wonderboy. Completely changed the standard of heavyweight striking.
Can Ciryl Gane beat Tom?
The MMA world is already buzzing, with many predicting that Tom Aspinall will dominate Ciryl Gane in their upcoming showdown. Fans aren't just talking about the fight itself, but also what Aspinall's future could look like once he clears out the heavyweight division. Scheduled for October in Abu Dhabi, this clash feels like a one-sided affair to a lot of people. With Aspinall's lightning-fast hands, sharp boxing, relentless ground game, and his seamless ability to switch between striking and grappling, many believe Gane simply won't be able to survive for long.
Tommy needs to focus on the next task. I remember when I lost to Matsera, I was making the mistake of trying to focus on Matsera to get my revenge immediately. But I had a few other fights lined up before to get to that. And if he's only focusing on Jon Jones, and if Jon Jones does not come back right away, he's not focusing on the right thing. He needs to focus on what is next, the next path. Because the rest, it's a distraction, and things that needs to be done will be done. I don't know what Jon will do, but as a fan, I would love to see this fight. I mean, because in terms of legacy and accomplishment, Jon Jones is the best, you know what I mean? And I understand Tom from his point of view that he's a proud fighter, he wants to be the best, but now it's all depend on what Jon want to do. If
Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall, I love...
Weird you mention both of them at the same time like that.
Of course.
You put them together.
Well, they need to fight to find out who's the best guy.
GSP, why is that fight not happening?
Well, it could be for two reasons. It's either that Jon Jones is using a strategy to have more money.
You could say it, GSP. Go for it. Come on, say what you want to say.
But I think that's why he's doing it.
Okay.
If he's doing it just to hold the title, to serve the wave, this is not. And if he has no intention of coming back, that's not right. But if he does it for as a strategy to have more money, I can understand why. But I think that the UFC needs to do something to get things moving. Either pay him what he wants, or make negotiation happen, or get things moving. Because athletes as a window, they can't wait forever. And when that window is passed, your money-making machine is broke, is finished.
Gun to my head, if I had to choose, I would probably say Jon Jones would win. Wow. It's all I've seen him do. I've seen him fight. He's right. He's everyone. This is always the next best guy. This guy's going to beat me. This guy's going to beat Jon Jones. And what does Jon do? He vanquishes him. He beats him.
They said it about Gustafson.
They said it about Gustafson. Said it about me. Said it about Rashad. Said it about Rampage. Said it about Ciryl Gane. I mean, he dirtied Ciryl Gane up.
I mean, the man been away for 100 years and walked through Ciryl Gane like he was like Ciryl Gane was me. That was embarrassing, DC. DC, that was embarrassing. DC, that was embarrassing.
I be trying to stay off of Ciryl, man, because I like Ciryl. Yo, when Cyryl's on the ground and he looked at him I was like, he looked like he saw a ghost. He was so in awe of Jon that he couldn't even compete with him. I was like, bro, he about to fight for the world title again. Imagine if Ciryl Gane win and Jon go, okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Boy, that would piss somebody off. That would piss people off.
What happened to the good old day when the biggest star in the sport could go out there and underperform a little bit and the judges would give a screw job to the less popular guy? I could tell you plenty of times throughout history where Alex Pierre would still be wearing that belt, which is to beat the champion. You really got to beat the champion. Screwed the other guy to protect the champion. That's all that's ever meant. I'm not sure that the Alex Pierre that I saw isn't the greatest Alex Pierre I've ever seen. Alex is supposed to be somebody that you can go take down and beat up, particularly if you got a wrestling background, particularly if you got a wrestling background from Dagestan. That's the story. He never went down wants. Is Uncle Live a man of his word? Does he get credit? Because his words were that I'm going to stand up and I'm going to kickbox with him. I'm going to beat him in the stand-up. That's exactly what he did. I, as a Pierre fan, what I want is Pierre at heavyweight. And if in a month from now we come out with a poster and it's Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pierre, I think you guys are pretty excited.
Michael Bisping has gone on record calling Tom Aspinall one of the most complete heavyweights the UFC has ever seen. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan has highlighted how rare Aspinall's skill set really is, pointing out that his speed, timing, and composure remind him of fighters from much lighter divisions. According to Rogan, Aspinall moves like a middleweight, yet still carries the knockout power of a true heavyweight.
Carries heavyweight power.
We finally got Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Chill, we've been screaming about this Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane for a long time. UFC 321, Tom minus 325, Gane plus 260. We finally got the fight, but the world doesn't seem to believe, Chael, that it's a close fight. And I don't really agree with that line. I think this fight is much closer. Tom Aspinall minus 325, Ciryl Gane plus 265.
Tom Aspinall is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. What's the first step for him?
You give him the one contender, Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane is somebody that's a big heavyweight, that's very agile. I don't think Tom Aspinall gets rid of him right away like he has with other people. And I think that'll be a big indication if John Jones wants to come back and reclaim that bout once again.
I think you're absolutely right. Fight that makes sense. Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane. Let's make that happen. Ciryl Gane is, people forget how fantastic he is. A guy that can kind of float around the octagon, touch you, kick you, hit you with elbow. He's just a complete game. But man, Tom's movement, his boxing, speed, and his power, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man.
Ciryl Gane brings a different challenge altogether. He's a polished striker, known for his smooth footwork and pinpoint accuracy inside the cage. However, the shadow of his grappling weakness still lingers. His quick submission defeat to John Jones continues to follow him, and many fans believe that Tom Aspinall is perfectly equipped to take advantage of that same vulnerability.
Jones is the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Now it's undeniable. Until he submitted Ciryl Gane and became the heavyweight champion, no one could with that.
Smashed him, bro. And Ciryl looked kind of unbeatable up until the Francis fight.
I watched Francis Gane on that last fight. Francis, in the last rounds, could barely move his feet. He could barely lift his legs. He was walking so slowly. Francis wins his fights by like first round knockout, second round knockout. Francis outworked Ciryl Gane. I outworked Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier outworked the shit out of Francis. But Francis, the guy who outworked Ciryl Gane, since when has Francis become a guy who outworks others? His gift is knockout power. He got outworked by Francis. That tells me a lot.
Ciryl Gane has a wrestling problem. Imavov uses a jab to blind Gane's vision, immediately changing levels and shooting a clean double leg, wrapping the knees to take him down. He rides Gane's back, sagging his weight and returning him to the mat every time he tries to stand, as Gane attempts to break the grip by pushing down on the hands and running laterally to create space. Imavov trips out the far leg, regaining dominant top position. When Gane tries to scramble up again, he's caught in a tight guillotine. Can Ciryl Gane beat Tom Aspinall?
It's almost an unfair comparison, right? When we talk about pressure versus pressure, everybody's under tremendous pressure. But I guess when you kind of look at it from not just pressure, but potential legacy and career and what's on the line, I think it's hard to not go with Tom Aspinall because the heavyweight division is on the line. If Gane goes in and beats him, no disrespect to Gane, love the guy, the heavyweight division loses a lot of respect. Even if Tom goes out there and it's a close fight or he gets dropped and then has to come back or something like the heavyweight division has so little respect right now, probably deservedly so, I think. With Gane getting his third title shot in a couple years, like Tom has to show that he is the heavyweight division. He has to prove that to the world. Like, I am, the heavyweight division's not just shit, but like, I'm so good that the heavyweight division is shit, right? This is kind of his thing that he has to go out there and prove to the world. And if he goes out there and loses to Gane, the division already is not respected. That brings Tom down significantly, I think, right? And of course, the potential John Jones fight, which is whatever, who knows, right? Like, how he beats Gane, assuming he does, may play a factor too. Like, if it turns out to be a close fight, again, John's going to be on his phone with Twitter open watching this fight, like just waiting for Tom to fuck up and get dropped, get leg kicked and limping a little bit, or you know what I mean?
Most fans are convinced that if Aspinall drags this fight to the canvas, it's essentially over. But the discussion goes beyond just beating Ciryl Gane. Supporters are asking a bigger question. What comes next? In many ways, Tom Aspinall has already worked his way through the top of the heavyweight roster. He's taken out names like Curtis Blades, Sergey Pavlovich, Alexander Volkov, and Marcin Tybura. If Gane ends up added to that list, the division starts to look thin. And when it comes to John Jones, for a lot of fans, that's not even a real option anymore.
It's not a conversation. So. Tom should be able to take him down if he chooses to. So if Ciryl Gane isn't training in Dagestan for 2-3 months, years, days, weeks,
or Arkansas,
brother.
Yeah, he's just go down there with Brass.
Get up there with Brass. If he's not just solely working on his grappling, then he's a fool. Yeah. And by the way, Tom's probably got bigger power. Tom might just knock him out on his feet as well. And I'm not saying that Ciryl can't be a force and Ciryl can't compete and Ciryl can't surprise us all, because he can. And Tom knows that. That's why he'll train accordingly. But the grappling is a big question mark.
Big question mark. And I think if we're talking about their styles too, I think the one thing that you can give Ciryl, other than maybe his unorthodox movement, the way he switches stances quite a bit, he kicks more. He uses a bit more tools, whereas Tom can kick. He can do it all, no doubt about it. He can knee and all of that. But I think that primarily the hands are where Tom really showcases him.
There's the guys who I've trained with, from my experience, who in the gym are absolute killers, absolute world beaters. And they'll get in a fight and they'll just freeze up, and it doesn't work like it does in the gym. They fight way worse. And there's other guys like myself, anytime there's pressure on me, that's when I've done my most devastating performances. Talk's just talk to me, right? It doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, we're both going to take our shirts off, get a pair of gloves on, and go in there and see who wins on October 25th. So it's not really going to change anything, to be honest.
And then I had his head coach, Fernan Lopez, on the program. And, it was all going kind of well. And then it started to get a little spicy on his part, where he said that your talk has been annoying, that you've been whining, that it's not true, that you guys weren't in talks to fight, 3-4 times in the past. Did you see any of these comments, and did you have any sort of response to them?
Well, somebody told me about them. I didn't see them. I'm trying to. I try and stay off social media when I've got a fight coming up. So I'm not like reading through all the time. My response to them is, with all due respect, I respect coaches so much, especially really high level coaches. But with all due respect, like, his opinion is quite irrelevant to the situation. Like, I'm just telling the facts from what I know and my point of view. I'm not, trying to get under anyone's skin or anything like that. Like, that's the reality that I lived. But irrelevant to what happened or didn't happen, like, that's in the past, and we're fighting each other now. We're fighting each other in October, so irrelevant to what anybody says, who's annoyed and who isn't annoyed, and whose feelings are hurt and whose feelings aren't hurt. We're going to fight each other and settle it regardless, so it's pretty irrelevant, with all due respect.
One thing that I thought was really interesting, and I don't know if he was trying to play mind games, but he said there's never been more pressure on anyone than the pressure that will be on you come October 25th, because of all the talk over the past year of you being the real champ and John Jones ducking and all that. You have to sort of validate all of this with a dominant win. What do you make of that statement?
That's great because I fight really, really, really well under pressure. You know, there's a couple of types of guys. I've been around martial arts for my whole life, near enough at this point. And, you know, there's the guys who I've trained with from my experience who in the gym are absolute killers, absolute world beaters. And they'll get in a fight and they'll just freeze up and it doesn't work like it does in the gym. They fight way worse. And there's other guys like myself who are not that good in the gym, but get under the lights, get under the pressure with all the chips on the table, and they get in there and do things that they would never be able to do in the gym. And that is exactly what I do. And I feel like that's one of my biggest strengths. So anytime there's pressure on me, that's when I've done my...
Jon Jones has shown no real interest in making the fight happen. Francis Ngannou has moved on to boxing. Stipe Miocic is essentially retired. And compared to the heavyweight golden eras of the past, today's division feels noticeably thin.
Much speculation about the White House card. Is there anything that Jon could do where you could say, okay, I actually trust him?
Let me ask you, what do you think Jon would do in the next couple of months that would make me trust putting him on the White House card?
Well, I would not trust him, but I would like to see him fight Aspinall on that card down the road.
So I already said that I don't trust him, and you're asking me what could he do for me to trust him in the next 3 months? You don't trust him.
Well, yes, but you talk to him. I don't.
Yeah, no, I don't talk to him either. I haven't talked to him at all. If I had to make odds, it's 1,000,000,000 to 1 that I put Jon Jones on the White House card.
All right, I think that ends the questions on it.
Yeah.
Did Trump tell you he was going to make that announcement?
No.
We're going to have a UFC fight, the grounds of the White House.
I don't even know how many people can get in. Whoever actually gets to be there live, it will be such a unique, amazing experience in their lifetime. When the fight is going on, one whole side will be the White House, and then the other side will be the Washington Monument. So we will absolutely put on the baddest card of all time.
McGregor hasn't been in a while. I saw right when this came out, he was back in the ring. Jones.
You jump back in the pool. So the dream main event right now would be Aspinall versus Jones.
Is it possible that McGregor and Jones would fight on the same card?
Could be.
Hey, so they've announced this White House UFC fight. What do you think about that?
I think it's exciting. Very exciting.
Can we expect to see you on the card?
I can't promise anyone anything, but I have a very strong feeling that I'll be on that card.
But who would you take on? Who would be your dream opponent?
I would want to take on whoever's holding the belt at the end of the year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any possible names you think?
Well, you know, I mean, as of right now, the champion is Tom Aspinall, but we'll see who's the champion at the end of the year. I feel like it'd be only fitting to have an American guy fight for the championship that night. I'd be willing to put it all on the line.
Nice.
That's why this fight is being framed as more than just a title defense. If Tom Aspinall demolishes Ciryl Gane like so many believe he will, the UFC may be forced to look outside of the usual heavyweight names for new challengers. Fans are already speculating about light heavyweights like Magomed Ankalaev moving up, or rising contenders like Jailton Almeida being pushed into the spotlight just to give Aspinall something fresh.
Não sou eu se você quer parar. Bukov não pede, Ciryl Gane tá fazendo filme, né? O Pavlovich já lutou com ele já tá com luta marcada. O cara que tá sobrando ali sou eu na divisão, e o cara que alfineta com aço sou eu. A mulher até mensagem pra ele no direct, sou filho dela. Mas ele não viu, ele viu a história do meu empresário, mas não viu meu stories. Eu marco ele nos stories. Eu sigo, na verdade, eu sigo no Instagram, eu vejo todos os treinos dele que ele faz. Então já virou ali como se fosse um dever de casa pra mim. Entendeu? Então, o cara que tá alfinetando isso sou eu. Tá mandando as mensagens, postando no Twitter, né, usando as redes sociais para poder promover a luta, né, porque assim começa, na verdade. Então, mas eu não vejo, tipo assim, eu não vejo mais ninguém de luta com o clássico. Eu vejo em vários podcasts, várias entrevistas que ele fala. Ele sempre fala meu nome, né? Então, bora tirar da boca, colocar no papel, para poder me dar um contrato de lutar comigo. Mas a sua luta boa, e o que eu vejo de Tom Aspinall é o cara que não luta 5 rounds. Ele nunca lutou 5 rounds. Né? Tem uma luta que ele fez, mas é antiga, basicamente. Ele cansa a partir do segundo. Né? E Tom Aspinall nunca foi testado para lutar a mais de 3 rounds. Mas, como eu digo, o Aspinall não é um cara besta, é um cara muito experiente. Né? Um cara que lutou com um cara duríssimo. Né? Então, tem que ser esperto. Né? Tem que montar uma estratégia boa para poder ganhar dele. né? E aí, tipo, é igual acontecer. Na verdade, pra mim, o curso fecha aquela grade ali, meu irmão. É só se quem puder, porque vai ser guerra, né? Eu tô pronto pra fazer uma guerra.
It is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the pride of Wigan, the one and only Tommy Aspinall. Tommy Aspinall. Na. Tommy Aspinall. Tommy defending his undisputed gold, technically for the very first time, against the pride of France, the French prince himself, Bon Gamin himself, the one and only Ciryl Gane. These two have been going back and forth for the better part of 2, maybe 3 years. Well, this was the fight that we all thought was going to happen in Tom's official first title defense, and so it is in fact going to happen. Tom wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. That was the sense that we got when he became undisputed champion. He didn't want to wait for New York. Let's be honest, the tax is a little better over there in Abu Dhabi compared to New York for an Englishman, for anyone, if we're being 100% honest. And so he wanted to be active. He wanted to fight in October. He wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi. It's closer to home, and so they oblige. And you'll recall a few weeks ago I said, it's looking like Magomed and Alex, October 4th. It's looking like Tom versus Ciryl, October 25th. And it's looking like JDM versus Islam in New York. That would be the next pay-per-view. Now, that hasn't been officially announced. That hasn't been signed, sealed, and delivered. But at this point, I would be surprised considering how the...
That's why this matchup is being seen as more than just another title defense. If Tom Aspinall steamrolls Ciryl Gane the way so many predict, the UFC might be left with no choice but to search beyond the usual. Interview 7. This is the narrative surrounding Tom Aspinall right now. He's become so dominant that many believe the heavyweight division can no longer contain him. Some see him as the future face of the UFC, a fighter who could carry the company for years to come. Others argue that if the UFC can't provide him with legitimate challenges, his reign could feel hollow, because cleaning out a shallow division doesn't add much to a lasting legacy. S for Ciryl Gane. The MMA community hasn't completely counted him out. His striking remains world-class, his footwork and distance control are elite, and if he can somehow keep the fight standing, he has the tools to make life difficult for Aspinall. But most fans doubt he can withstand the pressure, speed, and grappling dominance that Aspinall brings to the cage. That's why this matchup feels less like an even contest and more like a showcase for Aspinall's rise as the new heavyweight king. The question is simple. Will Tom Aspinall bulldoze through Gane the way so many expect, leaving the division without a true challenger? Or will Gane flip the script, silence the critics, and prove he's more than just a slick striker with holes in his game? One thing is certain. The MMA world is buzzing. Analysts are breaking it down from every angle. And this fight has the power to reshape the entire future of the heavyweight division.